Despre vizitele prințului Charles în Transilvania, mai mult ca sigur că ați auzit. Ele au devenit chiar o obișnuință în ultimii ani. Ceea ce este posibil să nu știți este că în comuna Saskiz există o fabrică de siropuri și dulcețuri care furnizează produse casei regale a Marii Britanii. Produsele și mâna de lucru sunt 100% românești, dar cel care administrează afacerea este, desigur, un britanic.
Well, I first came to Romania in 1990, just after the revolution.
Oh, 20 years ago.
And then I came back to work on a project. My business is a management consultant, and we were designing a project in Constanza. Okay. And I met some other British people who were working in this area, and they explained what they were doing, and they asked if I would like to help them a little bit. Mm-hmm. And they were asking if what they were doing made commercial sense, and enterprise and marketing and so on. And I felt that what they were doing didn't make commercial sense, and they said, would I help them to solve this problem? This was in 2001, 2002.
Oh, 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So I had one go in 1990, and then I came back again 2000, 2001, 2002, working on another project.
Okay.
And at that time, they were trying to develop a project to conserve the biodiversity of this area. And my feeling is that nowhere in the world do local people understand conservation if they don't see some benefit for the community.
Yes.
In actual fact, they will often sabotage conservation if they don't see benefit, because their life is upset by not being allowed to do certain things. So to make conservation successful, it's very important to link it with economic development for the community.
So they have to have something in return.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so I started to look at developing ecotourism. In this area there was very few tourists. The main international guidebooks didn't mention this area at all, so people would come from Brasov to Sighisoara to Maramuresh and they wouldn't stop. And in 2004 the mayor said, please help us to get people to stop in Saskiz for more than 20 minutes to photograph the church.
Yes.
So that really started us looking at ecotourism development. And the first tourist said, we would like to buy some gifts to take home.
And we don't...
And you didn't have any gifts to take home, other than Dracula-themed mugs and T-shirts and so on. And they didn't want that. So they wanted something, could we buy some jam, they said, or some honey. So I started in 2006 with some ladies making local traditional jams.
Ladies from here, from Saskiz?
From Saskiz and in this area. Mm-hmm. We ran training courses, we worked on the hygiene, on the labelling, and we had some good success.
Însă ardelencele din Saskiz nu erau atât de dornice să devină femei de afaceri. Au învățat firește foarte multe lucruri noi de la cursuri, dar a avea grijă de casă și de gospodărie era pentru ele mult mai important.
This was one of the problems. The ladies who came for training were, I have to be very careful, they weren't old because they were probably younger than me, yes. But they were older ladies and they came and they produced jam, but they didn't really want to become business people. Mm-hmm. This was for the younger people. This was one of the big social challenges that we faced. The older ladies, they wanted to stay at home and look after their husbands and their grandchildren, and they didn't really want to make money available to buy jars, to buy sugar,
yes,
and
to invest,
to take the risk of selling their produce. Mm-hmm. Now, in 2008, we jumped forward. We had the financial crisis,
yes,
and the impact of that was that we had to focus on being more and more commercial. And so I moved from looking at this as a community project funded through a foundation to becoming a full commercial company. So in 2009, we formed an investment company in the UK, and we registered Transylvania Food Company here in Romania. Mm-hmm. And so far our investment here has been funded by a group of investors. We are now 22.
22 investors?
Some from Romania, but some from England, mostly from England, but some Americans and Australian.
You convinced other people not from Romania to invest in Romania.
Exactly.
Good for you. what do you tell them?
Well, my background is almost 40 years in rural development around the world.
And they trust you?
They trust me, but also they trust what we're doing. Because in 2008 we started to debate amongst our group, why do projects around the world fail? Enterprise development projects, why do they fail? And the reason they fail often, I think, is because they are projects funded by donors. They are developed by one group of people, they are implemented by another group, and then after 2 years money stops and people are gone, and the community is left with nothing. And one of the issues we discovered here in Romania and in Eastern Europe generally was that the quality of the food that the ladies produce for their family is fantastic.
Okay.
The ingredients are fantastic, the flavours are amazing. In fact, part of this journey started with your then Minister of Agriculture promoting the quality of Romanian tomatoes to the Prince of Wales in 2004. And that really brought into focus the amazing quality of the tomatoes from Romania, but they're not available in restaurants or in supermarkets.
Because they don't...
They are produced by small producers and they're not registered. So we end up having a salad in Romania with tomatoes from some imported place. If they went to a market in Bucharest, they would, it is only customers, and the quality would be less. They would be thinking more about making some money.
Yes.
And there is the difference. The quality at the farm level, at the village level is very good, but by the time it gets to the market, it's not so good. So in 2007, I tried to start the farmers market movement in Romania.
Okay.
Now, a farmers market is different from a street market because street markets tend to be traders. It tends to be, often the produce is imported, and often you don't know where it comes from because they move it from different boxes to, and so on. So I started a farmers market movement in Bucharest in 2007, and we had the first one in December. It was snowing, and we had 10,000 people turn up.
My God.
And the quality of food was fantastic because we'd selected the producers to be there. We'd given them training on how to present their food, and everything was fantastic.
What's the specific of this kind of market?
Farmers market has rules.
Yes.
And it specifies what kind of produce can be there. It has to have a connection with the producer. So the farm...
Provable connection. You have
Approvable. It has to be the producer who is at the market.
Okay.
Because if as a customer you want to know about the provenance of your food, the person in front of you is the one who's made it. So it's all about connecting the consumer with the producer.
Directly.
Short supply chain. Unfortunately, this idea became hijacked in Romania, and people saw markets as a way of making money, to organize a market, not as a way of giving producers access to consumers. And unfortunately, it is no more.
Produsele tradiționale devin din ce în ce mai căutate. Asta cu atât mai mult cu cât în alte părți ale lumii ele au dispărut deja.
Romania has the most amazing ingredients, but they have to be transformed into safe food for consumers who are often many kilometers away. And the opportunity for niche products from Romania, I think, is huge.
We have a lot of products.
Which are very good, but they have to be marketed to the highest of quality.
So you can trust them.
You have to build trust.
Yes.
And there is another category of consumers who will travel sometimes many hundreds of kilometers from a city to producers who they can trust just to buy some eggs or a chicken or some cheese, because they can trust the quality and the provenance of that food.
And they like the taste and
Now,
they want it.
Exactly. So there is a demand, there are producers, there are consumers, but they are not connected. So going back to the challenges of working with the ladies, one of the problems we had was they all had different views as to who produced the best jam.
Okay.
And we said, but we've studied the market, and the market opportunity is for traditional jams that are low sugar.
Yes.
Just fruit and sugar, nothing else. And some ladies wanted to put other things in the jams, and
To be creative with the jam.
to be creative and to tradition. Some ladies wanted to put aspirin in, for example, as a preservative, which is not good.
Yes.
So we tried to get the ladies to come in to produce, and we tried to maintain quality. We have customers, as we've mentioned, who want to trust our product, so they want the product to be of a similar quality each time. So what has emerged is that I now employ people to make jam to the recipes that we have developed, based on traditional recipes.
Okay.
And we buy local fruit if we can get it. We buy fruit from some of the markets in Brasov, for example, if we can't get enough local fruit. And we try to produce a consistently high quality product.
What means high quality? To put it in words. To be low sugar?
To have flavour. What is the advantage of Romania? It is flavour.
Yes.
One of the things missing from many countries' food supply is the flavour has gone. As commercial production comes in, it is the yield that is important, not flavour. Romania has an advantage at the moment that you have still lots of ingredients with flavour. And they may or may not be organic, because farmers don't use chemicals because they can't afford them, not necessarily because they're organic. But generally they are safe ingredients and they are full of flavour. And we want to capture that flavour. And the story of our brand was when we started producing, people said, wow, just like my grandmother used to produce.
Iar o parte din gemurile produse la Saskiz ajung în magazinele fundației prin care prințul Charles promovează hrana organică.
From August last year, we've started to supply two products to the Prince of Wales. He has 3 shops using his High Grove label, and we have a honey. As you can see, it's in the centre of their display, and it's selling really well. And we have apricot preserve with his label on and his crest. And this is the story that he puts on the products. You can see behind the products there is a story as to why he's selling Transylvanian product in his shops in England. And you can see the story there.
What?
He came to visit us here at our facility last June. Just 2 days after he finished the Jubilee celebrations, he was here in Saskiz, and he spent an hour going around our facility, tasting our products, and hearing about the story of the impact that we're having in this area.
What's his favorite? If you are allowed to say.
I'm not allowed to say, but
Okay.
he is a great fan of Romania and the food from Romania and the landscape and.
I meant the product. What his favorite from the gems?
Well, he liked the honey, which is why we're selling the honey. We sent a selection of our jams to his shops, and the people who manage his shops selected jams that complemented the other jams they have already on sale. So, for example, they already have blackberry and blackcurrant, but they didn't have an apricot.
Yes.
So they selected the apricot because it was different from the other products in their shop.
To complete.
Yeah.
Haideți să vedem și noi câteva dintre produsele tradiționale pe care un englez le fabrică într-o comună din România.
Sunt făcute din fructe de grădină și fructe de pădure, cu un conținut mic de zahăr, astfel încât să păstrăm gustul fructului. Avem gem de coarne mai deosebit, apoi gemul de fructe de soc, foarte bun cu clătite, gem de vișine, corcodușe galbene, corcodușe roșii, un produs nou, gemul de măr cu cătină, bogat în vitamina C. Siropuri facem din absolut toate fructele pe care le putem găsi. Foarte plăcut la gust este siropul de coarne, siropul de porumbele. Aici avem o poză. Anul trecut am avut o vizită a alteței sale regale, prințul Charles, care a venit la deschiderea unității sălii de producție și a degustat gemurile pivnița bunicii și a fost impresionat de gustul deosebit al lor. De asemenea, a comandat pentru magazinul Casei Regale gemul de caise, pivnița bunicii și mierea de flori sălbatice de pajiște, care s-au vândut mai bine decât produsele englezești în magazinul respectiv.
Tot pe baza gemurilor, la Saschis se produc și sosuri pentru fripturi.
Gen cearniul picant cu prune și usturoi, cearniul cu măr și ardei, cearni cu măr și gutui și ultimul nostru experiment făcut a fost ketchupul de prune, care a plăcut foarte mult la public până acum, pentru gustul ușor picant și pentru condimentele pe care le-am folosit în rețeta respectivă. De asemenea, avem un produs foarte plăcut, dulceața de ardei iute. Am început producția de dulceață de ardei iute anul trecut în noiembrie și vânzările ne-au depășit toate așteptările. Da.
Dar nu, e tot așa pentru mâncăruri noi.
Da, pentru mâncăruri, lângă o fritură, lângă un grătar de porc, merge foarte bine un pic de dulceață de ardei iute.
Și puțin dulce, presupun.
Dulce, te izbește prima dată gustul dulce și apoi rămâne un gust picant de la ardeiul iute. Și aici avem siropul de flori de soc. Noi facem un suc concentrat de flori de soc pe care îl trimitem în Marea Britanie în cisterne, iar cei de acolo îl mai filtrează, îl supun unui proces de filtrare și ne-l trimit sub forma aceasta de sirop concentrat. Din 500 de ml ies 5,5 litri de suc.
Această parte a afacerii, respectiv contractul cu o companie din Anglia pentru furnizarea unei cantități mari de sirop concentrat de soc, este practic pilonul financiar al firmei.
So, going back in time again to 2010, just as we were starting the company as a commercial company, I was approached by a drinks company manufacturer in the UK they asked me, did we produce syrup from elderflower, from sock? And I have to say the answer was yes, because the previous year we had produced 100 litres, in the same way that your grandmother does.
Yes.
But they said, no, we were thinking more like 19,000 litres.
A very large quantity.
And I have to say, with my background in agriculture around the world, I was able to stay calm and say, yes, I think we can do that.
Okay.
And then I came here to make a plan as to how we were going to do this. And the plan involved, in the first year, over 800 local people out collecting the wildflowers. And they delivered them to us in horses and carts, old ladies with a sack, young children with a sack, queuing up outside our yard, half a dozen horses and carts bringing flowers. So this was very exciting, and the quality of our first shipment to England was above their expectations. So then we signed a contract, which we're now working on. So the next year we produced about the same. This year we're going to produce 40,000 litres of elderflower. But also in 2011, people said, but my grandmother also used to make syrup from salcum. So we tried, and we made the first year 300 litres, and we sent some to England for tasting. And then last year we produced 4,000 litres. This year we're going to do 16,000 litres, and the product was launched into UK supermarket Waitrose 2 months ago as a ready-to-drink formulation.
Produsul cel mai recent făcut în Anglia din sirop de flori de salcâm trimis din România, sucul acidulat de flori de salcâm. O băutură răcoritoare cu un gust plăcut, revigorant, pe care o lansăm luni pe 29 aprilie la Ambasada Marii Britanii din București.
A fost o rețetă, sau mă rog, o propunere făcută de dumneavoastră și pe care au primit-o ei? Sau?
Am trimis acum 2 ani în Marea Britanie 40 de litri de sirop de salcâm să vadă ce părere au. Anul trecut ne-au cerut 3000 de litri, putând să facă acest suc acidulat, iar anul acesta vor o cisternă ca să facă și siropul de floare de salcâm.
Da. Afaceri pe scară largă cu sirop concentrat de soc. Ar putea părea o glumă, însă felul în care a fost planificată creșterea ei și mai ales faptul că s-a și întâmplat, este un exemplu despre cât de în serios pot britanicii să ia o afacere, fie ea și cu flori de soc.
Now that is one side of our business, which is really quite large scale. Last year we had 1,300 people out collecting flowers. This year we'll have about the same. But by 2015 or 2016 we might have 3,000 or 4,000 people collecting.
Okay, but there are so many flowers around.
Huge amount.
So not the flowers are the problem.
No.
Okay.
But one of the other things we are want to talk to farmers about, in England they don't collect from the wild anymore. They have plantations as a horticultural crop.
England. Okay.
So what we are suggesting to farmers here in Romania is that you can consider this as a crop, horticultural crop, rather than a weed, and you can diversify your farm.
And
Plant the trees like an orchard.
And make some money.
And make some money. One of the challenges that we have in development is that many around the world, I'm talking about worldwide things, not just Romania, is that organizations claim to have an impact, but they can't prove it. So they claim that they're having this impact on the community, but they have no statistics that can be verified. So what we've set out to do from the beginning is we selected some indicators that we can verify from our records to say this is the impact that we're claiming we have, and if you want, we can prove it. So we've started with the big side of our business. We're not talking here about the artisan stuff. We've made a big investment. We started in 2010 with 2 employees, and we had seasonally 825 people collecting. We bought 13,318 kilograms of elderflower, and we paid cash every day to the people collecting. So we put this amount of money just on flowers into the community. Then in 2011 we went to 4 employees, but we had just over 1,000 people picking. And we pay a good price, we pay cash, but only for quality. If the quality is not there, we don't buy it. And that year we picked 19,000, almost 20,000 kilos of flowers. Last year we did 27,000. This year we're hoping to do 40,000. And by the time we get to 2015 or maybe 2016, we'll be up to 100,000. Now, some of this will come from wild collection, but by here I hope we will have some farmers already growing. The business environment can be very difficult.
Yes.
But I have investors who require financial information as investors. I have a UK customer who comes to audit our facility 3 or 4 times a year. So we need to maintain international standards. I was debating with my colleagues in England about why do projects fail, and we concluded that what we should do is to put into practice what we've been advising people all around the world to do for the last 40 years. So we invested
in your own idea.
In our own ideas, to be able to demonstrate to the world and to ourselves that it can be done.